Well, I never thought this would happen. I am standing here on the top of what used to be known as Beckton Dumps. It is now known as Beckton Alps, right? Now, see that bit of green there? That long, straight bit of green? That is the Northern Outfall Sewer. And I was brought up on the sewer bank, no comments, in a place called Plaistow, about halfway from here to Stratford. And used to be able to walk all the way along there, right the way from here to Stratford. And when we was kids, we used to come down to Beckton Dumps, which was then a bit of a slag heap, really. And we used to find a bit of tin, and we used to slide down on the tin. Matter of fact, there was once about 20 of us, all on a bit of Anderson shelter we used to slide down. And it was great. And I could see from the top of Beckton Alps that much of the traditional East End housing still seems to be intact, and a good thing too. With tower blocks now out of favour, perhaps we'll see a return to that community spirit that seems to me to be part of a bygone age.
We used to all muck in together. If someone was ill, then you'd all muck in, you know, and if you was hard up, you'd all put your food together and make one big old meal of it and have it in, sitting on the steps and that, and bring the old piano out and have a good old sing-song. And it was really good. We had none of this terrible break-ins and violence, because all the kids were happy and everything.
If there was a fight in the pub, we used to go down the fields or down the dock, put up ropes on Sunday morning, and the men that had been fighting would have to box it out, stripped to the waist. And there's a greed down there now where if you buy a new coat or something, oh, we've got to go one better. Where I can remember years ago, I had an uncle went to see. One particular incident, buying me a new coat. What do? I go to the park and cuts it up, because I want to be as poor as the other kids. The atmosphere was so different, and of a Saturday night, everybody would be out, kids, everybody, pianos out in the street, good old knees up, go up and get the pie and mash. Where now it's disgusting to go on like that. The whole place, the East End, is completely changed.
I used to be able to walk around the Isle of Dogs and know everyone, and if I'd done anything wrong in the streets when I was a kid, I would get a clip round the ear when I got in, because basically my dad knew somebody who had seen me. That doesn't happen now, because everyone's new, nobody knows anybody. And there is this sense of getting inside your front door, closing it and leaving the world behind.
Well, that's a shame, but I suppose things can never be what they were, except perhaps the Cockney dialect itself. I wonder if that's changed. Actually, I wonder how it started. So I asked a local expert, Robert Bartrop, co-author of The Mother Tongue, that's mother with two V's, for a quick rundown.
Cockney, for a way of talking, was brought into being by the Education Acts of the 1870s. Up to that time, it had been a person who lived in London. When all these hundreds of thousands of kids were sent to school for the first time, willy-nilly, it dawned on the authorities that this wasn't just a comic way of talking for characters in Dickens. It was the everyday speech of a large portion of the London population. And they went into it, they set up committees, they were determined to stamp it out, of course, and that was when the term Cockney speech, the Cockney dialect, came into existence.
And then you got the rhyming slang, of course. I mean, what are your memories of that?
Oh, well, see, we never used to think a lot of rhyming slang. It's been built up into a special characteristic. I meet people who think that Cockneys walk the streets of East London yakking to each other in rhyming slang from morning till night. A fellow comes up to me outside a shopping in Canning Town and says, "God blimey, bleeding taters, isn't it?" I mean, he's saying, "Isn't it cold?" We're having a bit of fun, and at the same time he's saying, "We can understand this."
Yeah.
But its other purpose is to distance yourself, to push something away that you don't want to say, don't want to confront. Things about illness, sex, death, all of these things, and about people's characters. The nasty words. You don't like to say somebody's been in prison or he's a thief, but you can say, done a bit of bird, or bit of a tea leaf, and then you haven't confronted this stark word, you've somehow wrapped it up and pushed it away a bit.